Ready? Hi, today we're going to talk about our marketplace simulation and our bike shop, Carbon Works Bicycles. But first, let's meet the team. Hi, I'm Henry and I'm the president.
Hi, I'm Michaela and I'm VP of Marketing.
Hi, I'm Marin and I'm VP of Manufacturing.
Hi, I'm John. I'm VP of Business Analytics.
Hi, I'm Caitlin, and I'm VP of Accounting and Finance.
Today, I'll be taking you through our team's overall strategy in the simulation, which we structured around three main pillars: class leadership, stakeholder value, and um, and growth focus. First, under the class leader strategy, we prioritized quality and competitive pricing to differentiate ourselves early. Our goal was to establish a brand demand first, which we could then scale to the broader market. This deliberate sequencing allowed us to build a strong brand reputation without overextending our supply too early in the game. Next, we focused on stakeholder value. By maximizing perceived product value and aligning our decisions with long-term satisfaction, especially for our employees. We made intentional choices about how we allocated resources, ensuring we were building not just profit, but internal morale and external brand trust. Finally, we were growth focused. After stabilizing our brand, we expanded regionally, increasing our manufacturing capacity and diversifying our product lineup. Our biggest shift came in Q4 when we redesigned our ad content to better fit our evolving brand image and reach, and we opened up a new store. You can see the impact of these efforts in the graphs on the right. Our Q4 market share rose substantially, especially against competitors like JIK and Prime Bicycles. At the bottom, and the bottom chart shows our net product demand skyrocketing in Q4. Overall, our strategy wasn't just about winning short term, it was about sustaining long-term growth by staying true to our identity and adapting as needed. Now I'll pass it off to Caitlin to talk about the financial aspects.
Thanks, Henry. Our strategy definitely helped make CarbonWorks do so well over the past 4 quarters, especially in our financial aspects. Our company delivered such a strong financial performance due to revenue growth, competitive market share expansion, and other important factors that drove our company to be first in the market. Rather than focusing solely on CBS benchmark statistics, we used a combination of strategic decision-making and targeted operational efficiency to influence key financial metrics. Some outstanding metrics we noticed from our simulation performance were the total profit increases across each quarter, especially from Q3 at around $1 million to Q4 at $2 million. Our sales revenue was very substantial across all quarters due to factors such as how high our demand was for each of our bikes. Net income retained in the positive for all quarters besides Q1 when we were still figuring out how to start things out. And it nearly doubled from Q3 to Q4 since we were confident in our strategy by that point. Our end of period cash balance increased significantly each quarter, also doubling from Q3 to Q4. All of these factors contribute heavily to our financial successes, tying into our superior performance on our balanced scorecard compared to our competitors, as you can see on the bottom graph. However, there are many more factors than this that go into our cumulative balanced scorecard, which Marin will break down and explain more about how we performed there.
Thank you, Caitlin. One of the factors that we performed extremely well in was our manufacturing productivity. We scored a 0.875 compared to an average of 0.755. So we were well above and beyond the average for other companies in our genre. This is due to an excellent use of operating capacity. We are operating at 100% of operating capacity, which means that we're effectively allocating our resources, providing efficiency in the business, and saving us money in the long term. However, for our HR management, we had low to average productivity compared to other businesses. We scored 0.779 compared to an average of 0.787. While we weren't a lot below average, we weren't performing as well in this metric as we did in all others. This is due to low employee productivity because we didn't fairly compensate our employees based on how well our business was doing. This is an easily fixable problem, and I'm sure that we can fix this and other quarters beyond this. Next up, John.
So today I'm going to be talking about all of the decisions that we made as a team and our dynamic to lead to our success and the results that we got. So one of our team decisions that we decided on was that the key destinations that we would open up would be in Amsterdam and Bangalore. Specifically, we would target speed and mountain bikes as our two prime priority bikes. With the speed bike, we decided to go for a more premium sort of bike with all the high end designs. As well as opening the two locations, we also invested in two printers for each location in order to make sure that we would meet scalability and meet demand. Now, for the next slide, the second team decision we decided to do was have a rebate campaign launch. In quarter two, we decided to roll out an aggressive rebate programs to convert interest into immediate sales. For both our Aero bike and our Peak Fiber bike, we had $100 and a $50 rebate for each respective bike. This demand, these rebates actually successfully boosted our unit sales, showing that our pricing strategy resonated with the customers that we were aiming for. And we saw a noticeable uptake in demand, especially in the competitive segments such as the speed bikes. However, there was a small trade-off because since we did bring in a boosted demand and completely sold all of our bikes, it did hinder our profit margins a little bit because of the rebate discounts. But it does show promise of customers wanting our product. Now, the last decision that we decided to go on the next slide, would be in quarter three and quarter four. We decided to shift from recreational bikes to mountain bikes in quarter three because we we switched from mountain bikes to recreational in quarter three because we saw an upscale of customers in the recreational market and thought we could penetrate it better and have better revenue than the mountain bike. However, soon quarter four came and we realized that um, the mountain bikes were actually providing more customers with more flexibility in entering the market. So we reverted back to mountain bikes being our second option, but also still having a third recreational bike as well. We also decided to expand capacity because this demand in quarter three showed that we faced stockouts for each one of our bikes, actually. So we wanted to upscale our fixed and operating capacity to meet the further demands. However, with the growing demand, we did not reach the total number of new units needed and face a total stockouts at the end of quarter four of over 1,488 total units between the three bikes. This does show promise that our company is in these decisions. We are going the right direction of growing demand of our product and making it a premium product for sale. Now I'm going to hand it over to Michaela to talk about. I'm going to hand it over to Michaela.
Thank you, John. After starting CarbonWorks Bicycles, there were many lessons that we learned, whether it was running a business or how to work effectively on a management team. The lessons we learned when running a business were mainly the importance of adaptability, the role of leadership in decision making, and learning from our mistakes. The importance of adaptability was super important to us because the market is always changing and customer preferences and technology are always changing. And we wanted to come together in our company and be able to accommodate for all of that. Next was the role of competition. We often looked at our competitors to see what was working and wasn't working for them, and we would reflect that onto our business and really use those things to compete with our competitors. Next was leadership and decision making. Before we even started our company, we all sat down and gave ourselves and each other roles within our business. based off of our skills and what we enjoy to do. And I think this really helped our business out just to work on our strengths and contribute to what we do best. And lastly, when running a business, we learned that it's super important to find the root cause of our issues and not just fix our little mistake and move on. We would sit down and find the main cause and try to fix it in order to prevent it from happening in the future. Next was how to work effectively on a management team. As I said earlier, we had defined roles and responsibilities, and I really think that this helped to not only work on our strengths, but enjoy what we were doing. Collaborative problem solving. Whenever there was a problem, we all came together as a group and gave our opinions on how we can make it better and really worked as a team to effectively problem solve. And lastly, just focus on our shared goals. When we are working to be successful within Carbon Work Bicycles, we didn't only want to do it for ourselves, but we had shared goals of positive revenue and meeting our demand, things like that, that we all wanted to come together and make as a team. And on the next slide, um, going forward for Carbon Works Bicycles, we would love to go into another quarter. And we have made 3 goals that we want to see within our company. The first one would be increasing our capacity to avoid stockouts. For our team, this was one of our main issues. We just weren't always confident enough to just buy another printer and make that big step. So with a little bit more confidence in increasing our capacity, we could make a lot more revenue and sell a lot more bikes. The second goal was focusing greater on our newly launched store in New York. As we mentioned earlier, we opened this store in quarter 4 compared to the earlier stores. So we haven't had as much time to really focus on that one. And now that we're more established, we can spend more resources, our time and money into really getting that store off the ground and running. And our last goal is enhancing total employee compensation. This is another area where we kind of fell short. As our business was growing and succeeding, we should be reflecting that onto our employees. So we will definitely be working on that in the next quarter, so we can bring more employees into our organization who are really going to make a difference. And next, I'm going to give it on to Marin to conclude.
Thank you. CarbonWorks Bicycles has been an incredibly successful project due to our high financial profitability, large market share in select markets, and manufacturing productivity. These successes are due to a thoughtful understanding of the markets and customers we are targeting and careful research in order to create the best possible product and marketing. However, our successes have not been without challenges. Throughout this project, we have been faced with different obstacles such as stockouts, and these have forced us to be adaptable to any situation and learn from mistakes that may arise. Despite the challenges, our ability for analytical review and strategic decision-making has paid off, and if our team is maintained as the management team going forward, I am confident that we will be able to continue to create lasting value for this company and the consumers we serve. Thank you.